Morning, everyone. The time being 8:30, Tuesday, March 11th.
Your mic on?
Bottom, but there you
Everyone,
There we go.
the time being 8:30 a.m. on March 11th, I'd like to call the Kane County Forest Preserve District Commission meeting to order. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Allen. Arroyo. Berman. Berman. Doherty.
Doherty here.
Garcia.
Garcia here.
Gripe.
Right here.
Here.
Iqbal.
All present.
Doobie. Kaya.
Guys present.
Leonard. Lewis.
What's here?
Linder.
Linder here.
Lena.
Not present.
Genesis.
Roth here.
Sanchez. And Strathman here. Sturgis. Tarver.
Tarver's here.
Pepe. Williams.
Williams here.
Young.
Here.
You have a quorum?
Moving on, I'd like to ask for consent from the commissioners to allow Mr. Berman and Mr. Linder to attend remotely. Any objection to that?
Mr. Doherty.
Doherty.
And Mr. Doherty also. Seeing none, they are approved and they are in attendance. Thank you very much. Next, what I would like to do before we do the Pledge of Allegiance is we have a number of 4-H students here from throughout the community. I would like to ask each and every one of them just to stand up and give us your name. And then we'll go through all of those and then we'll do the pledge. So if we could start in the front row.
My name is Liz Getson. Microphones recording.
Well, thank you all for attending. If everyone would stand, and Samuel, if you'd come up to the mic and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate your help on that. I don't believe we have any public comment here, either present or on Zoom. So we'll move ahead to the presentation and approval of the minutes for the February 11th, 2025 meeting. May I have a motion for unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes on February 11th, 20.
Mr. Chairman, this is Caius. I would ask for unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes from February 11th, 2025.
Thank you. Any concerns, objections, changes? Seeing none, we're in agreement. They are.
Mr. Chairman,
Your
I
microphone.
would request that you use your microphone.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm sorry about that. Moving on to the presentation and approval of the bills of the commissioners per diem for February 24th or February 2025. May I have a motion and a second to approve the bills and the commissioners per diem for February 2025. Bates moves.
Iqbal seconds.
Iqbal seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments, discussions? Seeing none, please do the roll.
Allen. Yo. Bates.
Bates, yes.
Herman. Doherty.
Doherty, yes.
Garcia.
Garcia, yes.
Ripe, yes.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Lee.
Yeah.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Linder.
Linder, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Genesis.
Genesis, yes.
Roth.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez. Strathman. Strathman, yes. Surges. Tarver.
Tarver, yes.
Pepe.
Pepe, yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Young.
Yes.
Approved.
The motion is approved. Moving on, this is kind of a nice portion of our meeting. We're going to have our Executive Director, Ben Habither, present and recognize certificates to 4 different individuals.
Thank you. So as most people here know, we had a successful land acquisition and preserve improvement referendum this last fall. This was in no small part due to both the Conservation Foundation's efforts as well as the Kane Neighbors for Open Space. We're recognizing both institutions right now. We had 4 co-chairs for the referendum committee. Mary O and John Rogner, who are with us in the audience today. You're about to receive a certificate. But I also wanted to mention Shauna Wyatt and John Hoshite, who were the other members of that referendum chairmanship. With us from the Conservation Foundation is CEO Brooke McDonald and Dan Lobes. We have a bigger award for you to present. I'll read that off here in a second. And then I also wanted to recognize Jessica Mino and Abby Beck. And I'll leave it to you, Brooke, if there's anybody else on your team you'd like to recognize. But this was the effort of a lot of individuals. Certificates go into the co-chairs, read as such, for their work as a co-chair for the Kane Neighbors for Open Space. This dedicated effort led to the successful passage of the 24th Land Acquisition and Preserve Improvement Referendum with a 59% positive vote. We are grateful for this tireless effort. Your work helps provide immeasurable benefits to every resident and visitor to Kane County, including cleaner air, improved water quality, nature programming for all, additional public safety, capital improvements, and natural areas enhancements to improve our woodlands, wetlands, and prairies. Brooks is larger. I'm trying to read this, but this is being presented to the Conservation Foundation for their work to pass the same. This was the 6th successful referendum that TCF has spearheaded on the district's behalf. Because of their dedicated efforts, residents and visitors to King County experience immeasurable benefits to their quality of life. So if you please join me in a round of applause, we'll meet you right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
On to Finance and Administration. One other person I'd like to recognize who is very important in this happening and being approved is Chris Gaius. So thank you very much. Yeah, no streamers.
No.
Run out to your car.
Oh, very much. It was so important to the Forest Preserve, and getting 59% of the vote showed that it was pretty much a mandate that the people of Kane County believe in what we're doing and want to continue. So thank you all very much for your help. Moving on to Finance and Administration, I need a motion and a second for resolution FP-R-25-03-3141. This is a resolution authorizing a contract extension for money manager services from Sawyer Feldudo Asset Management LLC.
Make the motion.
Gums will second.
Roth will move, Gums will second. Any discussion, concerns, questions on this? The point I'd like to make on this so that everybody's aware of, we've extended this agreement for 10 years strictly on the fee basis that we're paying. We're paying 0.15. So that's 15 basis points or 0.15 of 1% fee, which is exceptional. This is good for 10 years now. And all the other areas of the contract are up for our consideration really on an annual basis. but this locks in the fee for us for 10 years. Any questions? Seeing none, would you please do the roll?
Allen. Arroyo. Bates.
Bates, yes.
Berman. Doherty.
Yes.
Garcia.
Garcia, yes.
Gripe.
Gripe, yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Juby, I.
Caius.
Yes.
Leonard. Linder.
Linder, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Hennessy.
Hennessy, yes.
Roth.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez. Strathman, yes. Surges. Tarver.
Carver, yes.
Pepe.
Tempe, yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Young.
Yes.
Approved.
Resolution is approved. Moving on to our next resolution, which is FP-R-25-03-3142. This is a resolution approving modifications to the organization ordinance. Chapter 3, Officers of the District, Section B, Duties of the Officers, and Section C, the compensation of the President and the Commissioners. I need a motion, a second, to discuss and possibly pass.
Hennessy moves.
Hennessy moves.
Gripe, second.
And Gripe seconds. Any discussion, questions, concerns on this? What I'd like to point out in this resolution is what we have agreed to do is start reimbursing the commissioners who attend meetings if they're on the committee. It's a fee of $30 per diem. And we've also added the position of vice chairs onto all the different committees. And the vice chair's responsibility is, if the chair is not there, to run the meeting for them. Any questions? Seeing none, please do the roll.
Allen. Arroyo.
Please come back to me.
Berman.
Yes.
Garcia.
Garcia, no.
Gripe.
Gripe, yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Ball.
Iqbal, yes.
Juby.
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Linder.
Linder, yes.
Molina, no.
Hennessy.
Hennessy, yes. Roth, yes.
Sanchez. Strathman.
Strathman, yes.
Surges. Tarver.
Tarver, yes.
Tepe.
Tempe, no.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Young.
Yes.
Passes.
Bates, no. Sorry,
Yes.
Passes. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is FP-R-25-03-3143. This is authorizing a one-year retroactive payment for reimbursement of unpaid per diem at full commission meetings to the commissioners of the Forest Reserve in the District of Kane County. I need a motion and a second to discuss and possibly pass.
Gums will move. Juby, seconds.
Move. Sorry, who was that on second?
Juby.
Oh, Juby seconds. Very good. Any discussions, questions, concerns on this?
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
I
Dr.
had proposed a small clarification to that amendment, as an amendment.
Yes,
I believe it is included.
it is.
It is, okay.
Yeah, we do have that added into it. Basically, what this amendment is doing is it's going to include the ability for commissioners to either accept the back pay or not. If they accept the pay, they will also have the option, and it's strictly an option, to sign a waiver stating that this is full and final payment of any back pay. This is not mandatory, and every commissioner has the right to decide whether or not they want to move forward on this, or if they just want to accept the payment and close out this issue. So it's an individual situation.
So sorry, just to clarify, this amendment presented in the packet does not have the amendment. We have that prepared if you'd like to vote on that, but we need to go through the amendment process.
Yeah, I would suggest that you have the matter amended, have a vote on the amendment, and then proceed to vote on the resolution as amended.
Okay, very good. If we could, Ben, would you read the amendment to this amendment? It's the Fifth Amendment.
Yes, do we have, Lloyd, do you have that up on your? It was short language that said, had the option in there. Not have it. Yeah, we'll have to bring it up.
If you go to the resolution itself,
You know where the amendment is, Jerry?
well, I recall it being basically two words to say that it's optional or is at
Correct.
the discretion of
At the commissioner's discretion.
Mr. Chair Gums,
Yes, Ms. Combs.
do we need a motion to amend it?
Yes.
Yeah, we really do. So
Want to just get what it is.
let's find it first. We'll read it to you and then you can decide how you want to vote on.
Dr. Iqbal has it, I'm sure.
Correct.
Yes, I will move that we add those verbiage on the fourth whereas at the end, at the commissioner's option.
Gums will second.
So the amendment is, the words we're adding is at the commissioner's option.
Commissioner's option.
Yes.
In the fourth clause to follow district's finance director at the commissioner's option.
That's correct.
We have a motion and a second on that. Any discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, Gabby, please do the roll on this.
Allen,
I need to pass.
Arroyo. Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman. Doherty,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Shivi, no.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, Strathman,
Yes.
Tarver, Tepe,
Tempe, no.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Allen, did you want to vote?
Allen, aye.
Okay, so that was the amendment to the amendment.
Now we
Now-
passed the whole thing.
Now we need to pass the whole thing. So I forget if we had a motion or a second on that, so let's reintroduce it. Could I have a motion and a second on the full amendment?
You had
Oh,
Point of
Roth-
order, I think it already
Zen
exists.
Juby.
So,
Roth and Juby, okay, very good.
Gums.
Oh, Gums and Juby, excuse me, Ms. Gums.
That's good.
Any questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, please do the roll on the amendment.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal, Doobie,
Shivi, aye.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Brian.
Linder,
That was my phone.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, Strathman,
yes.
Surges, Tarver,
Tarver, no.
Tepe,
Tempe, no.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, the resolution passes. Moving on to land acquisition. I need a motion and a second on resolution FP-R 25 03 3144. This resolution is authorizing an intergovernmental easement agreement between the Forest Reserve District of Kane County and the Village of Algonquin.
Caius would move.
Caius will move. Gripe will second. Any discussion, questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll on this.
Allen. Aye. Arroyo. Bates.
Bates, yes.
Berman. Doherty.
Doherty, yes.
Garcia.
Garcia, yes.
Gripe.
Gripe, yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Yes.
Caius, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Linder.
Linder, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Hennessis.
Hennessis, yes.
Roth.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez.
Strathman, yes.
Surges. Carver. Tepe.
Duffy, yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Young. It's approved.
Resolution passes. Thank you. Our next one is, I will need a motion and a second for resolution FP-R 25 03 3145. This resolution is authorizing the purchase of a parcel of approximately 0.59 acres in Dundee Township. Before I have a motion and second, I just wanted to mention that this is a portion of land that we're wanting to approve to have access to some of our other forest reserve areas to do maintenance. John Rooks Lopez is here in case anyone has questions, but before that, I need a motion and a second to move forward.
Caius would move.
Caius
From
will
Dundee
move.
Township. Yes.
Dr. Iqbal will second. Any questions, concerns on this?
Mr. Doherty has his hand raised.
Oh, Mr. Doherty, go ahead.
Yeah, Jen, I'm just, it looks like a residential neighborhood. And we're buying what looks like a plot.
Well, yeah, you are correct on that. Jen, if you wouldn't mind, would you just give a little reasoning behind our desire to purchase this?
So this particular parcel is directly north of Sleepy Hollow Ravine. That area of Sleepy Hollow Ravine is very difficult for the district to access with our maintenance equipment because of the topography. This particular lot gives us access. So the pure point of purchasing this, and you are correct, it is a residential lot, is so that we can get access to the Sleepy Hollow Ravine with our maintenance equipment and do the work inside of the woodlands that needs to be done. Beyond that, without this particular access point, everything basically needs to be walked into that area.
What do you mean everything has to be walked in? What has to be walked in?
So any of our large equipment, so mowers, chainsaws, Fecon equipment, stuff like that, we can't get that back in there unless we're going in and doing handwork.
Okay.
Mrs. Stratman?
Yes, thank you. Will this require any modifications to this lot?
No, so we're going to purely use this for maintenance purposes. This will not be a dedicated public walk into the.
But
into
you
the
won't have
site.
to put a road in for the
No,
the
no.
equipment or anything?
No.
Okay, thank you.
It's important to also realize that we're strictly using this as an access point. There won't be anything stored on this property. It's just to get in and out to maintain our property. Any other questions?
I would just further add that this is a Illinois Nature Preserve. The ravine is exactly what this is. Sleepy Hollow Ravine is the highest quality nature preserve we have. Due to the steep topography, the indigenous plants that were there were never plowed, never removed. And since it's dedicated as a nature preserve, we have an obligation to maintain it. Having to come in on foot has really hindered us, and this will be a great assist to be able to actually manage it properly.
Any other comments, concerns? Seeing none, please do the roll on that.
Mr. Young had a
Oh,
question.
excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, over here, David.
Yes, Mr. Young.
What is the cost of this?
The cost is, I believe, 72,000.
72,500.
It's not cheap, but it's something that, it's less than the going rate, the market rate, and we do need the access. And it is in budget, so. Any other questions? If not, please do the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Or yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Right, yes.
Combs, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Sweet,
Shubi, I.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Oh, thank you.
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Ches,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Tarver, Tepe,
Zepi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
approved.
Berman, yes.
Thank you.
And yes, thank you, Mr. Berman. The resolution passes. Moving on to planning and utilization. Our first resolution is FP-R-25-03-3146. This resolution is approving a bid for construction of the Centennial Park project at Johnson's Mound. I'd like a motion, a second, then I'd like Jen Rooks Lopez to give us a little definition on what we're passing here.
Williams seconds.
Strathman moves, Williams seconds. Jen, would you please give us a little information on this?
Sure. Good morning. So what you have in front of you is the continuation of our centennial celebration over at Johnson's Mound. So as most of you may remember, on June 8th, we will be celebrating our 100 years. Some of those components of this celebration would include the Guardians, which is going to be our first public art sculpture. The bid in front of you this morning is to do the limestone trail work and install the memorial stones that we'll be doing for the donors for the trees. So the Guardians is a separate piece of this, but as you could see on that site plan that we had up there a few minutes ago, this will be the limestone trails that'll take you to where the Guardians are going to be sitting. An additional component of this, the alternates of this, would be a carriage walk that goes along the side of the driveway at Johnson's Mound Forest Preserve to take you back up into the forest, where we'll be installing a council ring. So the district was awarded a grant earlier this year from the Riverboat Foundation for about $50,000 to construct a council ring and add some informational signage relating to the Shabona elm that is located in that woodland area. I'm sorry, I keep watching the screen change. It's kind of throwing me off as I'm talking. So this project will include both the council ring installation, which is part of the Riverboat grant, as well as some additional signage. That'll be at a later date, the historical signage. It'll also include the limestone trail to get you to where the Guardians Monument will be located. We're also doing as an alternative or as an alternate bid on this, you'll see it's alternate number 2. That's the parking lot. So to kind of dress up the forest preserve before we do our centennial celebration, making sure that everything inside the park is looking just as spick and span as it possibly can. So the total bid right now is with Obsidian. Obsidian just finished John Dewar Forest Preserve for us last year, so we're very confident in their ability to do this particular project. Their bid was $129,023.75. We are asking for a $15,000 contingency, just in case there's any unknowns that pop up during the construction process, for a total bid for a total contract price not to exceed $144,023.75. And as a reminder, we do have that $50,500 riverboat grant coming for the construction of the council ring area.
Any questions on that? Yes, Ms. Bates?
Is the council ring where the statues,
No, so the council ring
Lori,
And
can we
one of
please
the-
show the picture of the council ring? I think we've got an exhibit that shows where all these features are as well, right here.
There we go. So the council ring, if you see that red dot that sits inside, kind of on the northern end, inside of the actual woodland area, that's in the general location of the old Shabana elm that was removed in the early or late 70s, I believe. That's where the council ring will be. You can kind of see that black line, that kind of dark, solid black line. That's all of the limestone trail that we'll be installing. The Guardians Monument is that red dot kind of on the southern end. So you can see where that's going to sit. The new trees are kind of in that dark greenish area with the dashed path. And then the Guardians Monument sits right in there.
It's,
trees be cut down for this
No,
project?
any other questions or concerns? Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Pennis's.
I got one question. The Shabana, as I call it from Chicago, Shabona elm history. Can you explain what that is a little bit?
So it was a large elm tree that's one of the largest elm trees, I think, on record up until the late 70s when it had to be removed, that was up in that woodland area. There are rumors that Chief Shabana held a bunch of council meetings in that particular area in honor of that elm. But it has remained, even though it was removed in the 70s, you can still find that location in today's aerial photos. The tree canopy is still open in the area where that tree was at.
Thank you. It's exciting. I understand they're doing a tree survey
Mhm.
throughout the state, which is kind of exciting. King County is going to participate in that, where they're going to be identifying, the oldest trees in the county, right?
Was the champion elm in 1972, Dutch elm disease took it out. It
Oh,
was-
wow. Okay.
Anybody else?
So,
Ms. Allen?
I believe that somewhere,
Microphone, please, Ms. Allen.
sorry, I believe that somewhere in our, within our preserves or within our buildings, there is a piece of that tree that was cut,
yes.
Yes.
maybe like this wide, and we have that stored somewhere safely.
If you'd like to see a piece of the Shabana elm, you can visit our Creek Bend Nature Center at St. Charles, Leroy Forest Preserve. And it was stored for a long time, but unfortunately it cracked. But they've rendered that very artistically, and you can count all the tree rings. So we do still have a piece of it due to the local significance and some of the stories tied to it.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Mr. Gripe?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Executive Director, are there any opportunities to donate to this project and possibly plant trees?
Thank the board for these softball questions. If you'd like to be a part of history and part of this centennial celebration, you can visit Kane Forest Foundation. You can sponsor a tree. And so what not everybody here may know is that Johnson's Mound is not only the very first forest preserve, but the very first parcel we ever protected. So the trees that are on the left here represent the very first trees ever protected. And the small trees on the right are the trees that we'll be planting on June 8th, which is the true centennial of the Forest Preserve District. So right next to our oldest success is going to be the beginning of our second century of conservation, and you can be a part of it. So there's different areas in which you can support. We also have some corporate sponsorships available, but if you also just like to come out and join us on the celebration, that's available as well.
Thank you, Mr. Gripe. That was a wonderful question. Yes. The other point I'd like to make on this project with contingencies is approximately 144,000. We do have the $50,000 grant from the riverboat. So this is well within budget. In fact, it's quite a bit lower than we anticipated. So if there are any other questions or comments, if not, please call the roll on this.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
yes.
So the only thing
is that,
Lerner, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Shuby, aye.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Genesis,
Hennessy, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Carver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tempe, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
approved.
Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. And once again, that our celebration will be on June 8th. So if possible, please plan on attending that. Moving on to our next resolution, may I have a motion and a second on resolution FP-R-25-03-3147. This is a resolution approving a bid to purchase and install wetland plugs at Hoshite Woods Forest Preserve.
Roth will make the motion.
Roth will move.
Bates will second.
Bates will second. If you don't mind, just for a second, I'd like to ask Mr. Pat Chess to come up if he's, oh, there he is. Thank you, Pat, and explain exactly what this is.
Sure. So this is a direct follow-up from a 2022 restoration project that the district undertook out at Hoshite Woods Forest Preserve. So in winter of 22, we planted 77 acres of tall grass prairie, converting that from cornfield. And so that was done with the aid of a $200,000 DCO grant from the state. But we do have this little 1.7 acre section that's a prairie pothole depression. So it's a depressional wetland that's out in the middle of the prairie there. And we find we don't get good native plant establishment from seed in our wetland areas, right? The seed, the water prevents the seed from reaching the soil. It either washes away or washes up to shore or goes to the drain tile. So we like to follow up those seed sowing restorations with live plant installation into the areas where water is held. And so that's what we're looking to do here. We've got a base bid of 7,500 plugs and then an option for 2,500 additional plugs. Beyond that, the price here covers a contractor to purchase, install, care for, and then guarantee 1 year of survival of those plugs. The low bid here came in from McGinty Brothers out of Long Grove, Illinois, at a total price for the base bid and option at $39,142.50. Financially, we did have $140,000 budgeted this fiscal year in our native seed and plants budget. We do have a little over $55,000 remaining in that account, so we do have sufficient funds to cover the total cost for both the base bid and the option. So at this time, we are recommending approval of the total contract here at $39,142.50.
Any questions for Mr. Chess?
Mr. Chairman,
Dr.
sir.
Ipko?
Just a clarification, what is wetland and what's a wetland plug? If you can explain it to everyone.
Sure. So we you establish wetland through both its vegetation, soils, and hydrology, but really this is an area that is about 2 feet lower in elevation than kind of the surrounding area, and so water pools there and gets held, and so it's wet in the spring. It kind of dries down through the summer, but since it has that water, that's why we're not getting good seed establishment. Plugs are just small plants. So instead of getting a larger potted plant, you're getting something that's maybe an inch by an inch or 2 inches by 2 inches in size, and then maybe 5 inches. So there's some established roots in there. And then they'll be planting those throughout the area at about 3 foot spacing.
So what does this plug do? This plant does? What do they do?
So we've got about 55 different species that are going in here, and that'll establish. You see that graph with the different rings. That kind of goes all the way from your kind of tall bulrushes that you would see in a marsh in the center, all the way out to kind of wetland prairie on the edges. That should provide habitat for a variety of species. We see ducks and geese swimming in here. Them having kind of a fringe of wetland species around there will provide better habitat for them, better cover.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, please do the roll on this.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Berman,
Doherty, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Ripe,
Ripe, yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Ball,
Oh, yes.
Chuby,
Chuby, aye.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder, Molina,
Molina, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tempe, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young.
Yes.
Berman, yes.
Thank you.
Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to the executive session of our agenda, I would ask for a motion and a second to approve Resolution FP-R-25-03-3148. This is a resolution authorizing the purchase of parcels totaling approximately 84 acres in Rutland Township.
Strathman moves.
Caius would second.
Stratman moves, Mr. Kaya seconds. Before we vote on this, or before we have any questions, I'd like Executive Director Ben Habitha to give us a little background on this.
Yes, thank you. It's my honor to present this. This represents over 2.5 years of negotiation, and it's rare that we have a parcel of this quality for your consideration. So we have this listed as the Reed parcels. We began negotiating with Miss Helen Reed years ago. She was one of the founding members of Kane County Audubon. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple years ago at 100 years of age, but we've been working with Nancy. This parcel, as you can see from the image here, this is just to the west of our Freeman Came Forest Preserve in Gilbert's. You can see how the woods continue on to these currently private parcels in green. So there, it consists of pre-settlement oaks, so a number of different dozens of oaks that have never been cut down, and then some third or tertiary growth oak woodland that has come in. So it's some of the very best of what's left in Kane County for your consideration. This is part of a kettle came topography, so we have established wetlands and nice hilly topography there. Pat Chess, our Director of Natural Resources, has walked this as part of the process with our wildlife biologist. Very exciting to see the quality that's already on there. We have an established group of breeding sandhill cranes, which were in decline for a long time. It's very effusive about this parcel. On the top of it, you can see a white dash line that represents approximately 15 acres to the north that are not going to be part of the purchase. That is left with the seller for private resale. And I'll also note on the bottom of the image, you can see a farmed parcel. That parcel, more than the natural resource, drives the price up a little higher. What we're looking at is 41,000 per acre here for a total purchase price of 3.5,280,000. Now that's higher than some of the other prices we've seen, but up in Huntley incorporated and even unincorporated Huntley, prices are going for much more. Just to the west of Powers, the same party sold for 70,000 an acre, and just west of there was 80,000. That farmed, economically developed parcel takes the value higher. And I just wanted to give some of that explanation before it was open for discussion.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Ms. Juby?
I just have a comment for people that think we move really quickly on this. This was one of the first pieces of property we talked about when I got on the board, and I am thrilled to be able to vote yes on it.
Thank you, Ms. Juby. Ms. Spates?
This is very exciting, and thank you again, folks out in the audience, for making this possible for us to purchase this pre-settlement oaks. So,
Thank you, Ms. Bates. Mr. Pennis's?
Not only high quality woodland there, we've got a possibility for recreational use at that southern end where the farm is, correct?
Yes, thank you. So that the farmed parcel this parcel would be pretty turnkey ready for a grant application. So that would allow a modest forest preserve type development, gravel lot, picnic shelter, outhouse, and then make a new trailhead to connect with the existing trail. So very good point.
Any other comments or questions?
Just
Caius?
Caius, yes, just a thanks to staff, because I was on the board 2 years before her, and I think we were still working on it with a different administration.
Right.
They've dealt this with kid gloves to make sure that the seller was completely satisfied with what we're doing and something we could accomplish. So kudos to staff.
Way to go.
Thank you, Mr. Cass, for those comments. Any other questions, concerns? Yes, Miss Allen?
And I was on the board before. this. And we were working for this parcel.
Oh, you stole my thunder there. I was gonna say the same thing. And I thought if Miss Allen says something, she trumps me. So thank you very much.
You win.
Any other questions, comments? If not, please do the roll on that.
Allen,
Alan, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Happily, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Paul, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Genesis,
This is yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, Strathman,
Strathman, excitedly, yes.
Surges, Carver, Pepe,
Seppi, yes.
Williams, no.
Young,
No.
it's approved.
Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to new and unfinished business. May I have a motion and a second for the resolution FP-R-25-03-3149. This is a resolution approving the request for consent to transfer majority equity interest in the Cougars Baseball Partnership and American Sports Enterprises to Rev Equity Ventures LLC. And this includes the execution of the Fifth Amendment, which we handled earlier today. I need a motion and second, then I'd like to just give you a little background on that.
Roth will make the motion.
Roth moves
second.
and Ms. Gums seconds. The point I'd like to make here is at our last Forest Preserve meeting, when we're talking about transferring the responsibility of the lease to Rev, there was concern, and Mr. Tepe, I believe, brought up the fact that we have a personal indemnification from Dr. Bob and his wife Cheryl, that if for whatever reason payment is not made, they are personally held liable. We would not concede that personal indemnification. And there was a pause in the discussions on this. And Rev Enterprises came back and said, since you won't relieve Dr. Bob and his wife of the personal indemnification, we will pick that up. And in the wording that was established by both legal parties, they agreed that if for whatever reason Rev would decide to move out of the stadium before the end of the lease, which is 2034 or 9 years from now, they will pay in full upfront the remainder of the lease. So this is a very positive thing, and we're very happy with it. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Mr. Tepe.
Mr. Tepe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Are we comfortable that this organization has the assets to be able to back this up, or are we looking for personal indemnification from some of the key owners?
We are very comfortable with personal assets. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They own the Texas Rangers, the Texas Stadium. They own many college enterprises. It's a multi-billion-dollar operation. And instead of having this contingent upon an individual and his spouse or wife to pay it, if Cougars didn't pay it, we now have a multi-billion-dollar corporation backing it.
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Williams.
I would just like to say that I think this is a very exciting opportunity for Kane County and for the Cougars. And that I anticipate that this venture will take the Cougars to a much higher level and will be much better for the county. So I'm wholeheartedly in support of this project.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Ms. Allen.
Alan, just wanted to say thank you to staff and legal counsel for working this through. I'm sure it wasn't easy. And I think it's so successful that we're all really delighted about it. So thanks for the hard work.
Thank you for mentioning that, Ms. Allen. Yes, Mr. Hodge and the staff did a wonderful job on this, so we are all appreciative for their efforts. And I think this is something very positive for the Forest Preserve, for Rev Enterprises, and for the community. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, could we please do the roll on this?
Allen,
Alan, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe home run, yes.
Grand slam, yes.
Yes.
Juby, I.
Caius,
Highest franchise team, yes.
Leonard,
Or yes?
yes. Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Genesis,
Perfect game, yes.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Carver,
Carver, yes.
Tepe,
Zeppi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
it's approved.
Resolution's approved, and thank you all very much for the unanimous support of this. Moving on, we have no need for closed session today. We do have some communications, Lori.
Sure. I just wanted to update everybody on Maple Sugaring Days, which was a couple weekends ago at Leroy Oaks Forest Preserve. Success by any measure, but some stats that Barb put together for us. We had 2,108 attendees, which broke our last record we set last year. Daily attendance on Saturday was 940 people, and on Sunday was 1,168 people. And that may not seem like a lot, but it's a 3-hour event both days. So if you average it out, it's 351 people an hour. So staff was busy. As were volunteers. We had 75 volunteers who helped out with this event, including mounted rangers. And in every other station, we had obviously a lot of staff working the event. It was the first time we ever had a custom crafted beer available in a beer tent at the event. And that was a huge success, very family friendly. A lot of people were taking time out from the cold in the heated tent. So good time had by all. Here are some of the photos that we took. And then you covered Centennial already. Thank you very much. And lastly, I passed out a copy of our annual report, which covers highlights from last year.
Any questions for Lori? Seeing none, thank you very much.
I do have
Oh,
a
I'm sorry,
question.
Ms. Bates.
So we're trying to get our name on something, but it's a brick, right? It's not a tree, or is it a tree? It's a plaque. So can we buy a plaque to
So
honor?
for the Centennial, you can donate money and your name can be part of a larger bronze plaque that's installed at the site.
Okay.
Good question, Ms. Spates. Any other questions, concerns?
Copy, Mr.
I just wanted to, you went so quick over that annual report. Community engagement did a lot of work on this, and I wanted to point that out, got this out in Q1. You can see some of our biggest accomplishments last year, including the Carpentersville Dam removal, of course, the referendum, and then I love all the statistics and infographics that were put in there, just showing how we're meeting the mission. So great work for community engagement.
Thank you, Ben. I think that was a good point to bring up, and we do thank staff for all they do. Moving on, I have no comments. I do need a motion and a second to put the reports on file.
Roth will make a unanimous request to put the reports on file.
Any objection to that? Seeing none, the financial reports are put on file. I need
Roth will make a motion to adjourn.
a motion to adjourn. Second by Williams. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.